Hello everybody, it's Emery48 here and welcome back to another Star Wars Sunday. Today we are returning to the Legends timeline with Coruscant Knights. The first one, Jedi Twilight. This is by Michael Reaves and it takes place in 19 BBY, 2 months after Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The book comes out to $8. The dramatist persona reveals that we will be revisiting some characters from previous Legends books, including Den Dur and Jedi Knight Jax Pavan and I-5, as well as some other characters. Part 1, Life During Wartime, Chapter 1. Jedi Master Evan Peel is tracked down by 5 stormtroopers when his attempt to escape was foiled. Evan knew his only option was to fight. Chapter 2. Nick Rostu is on Coruscant currently with a group attempting to fight against the new regime. Nick had been with Mace Windu on Harun Kal in a previous Legends book, and after that he joined the Republic military. After hearing of Mace's death, Nick left the new Empire, killing some that came to kill him for deserting. He, Kars Korthos, and 4 others have followed 5 stormtroopers into a building while they were following a Jedi. Chapter 3. Master Evan died from a grenade blast. Nick and his crew were able to ward off the stormtroopers, and Evan told Nick his mission, which Nick knows someone who can carry it forward. Chapter 4. Jedi Knight Jax Pavan has been working as a bounty hunter for Rocco the Hutt since Order 66. Rocco tried turning on Jax, who used the Force to survive the incident, knowing he would now need to escape Coruscant. Chapter 5. Den Dur, the reporter from the Legends Medical Rimsu book, and I-5 are on Coruscant looking for I-5's former partner's son, Jax. Chapter 6. Caird has risen farther in the Black Sun since we last saw him, competing to become a Vigo, still with the goal of gaining enough power and status to return home. Chapter 7. Nick, while searching for Pavan, found the building he might be living in. As he approached, 5 stormtroopers entered the building. Chapter 8. Haninam Tik Renan had been rescued from a life of slavery by Darth Vader and now works as his aide-de-camp. Jax senses the 5 stormtroopers approaching him, looking to kill him. Chapter 9. Darth Vader has assigned Renan to find Jax. Nick and Jax killed the 5 stormtroopers and fled down the alley. Chapter 10. Nick told Jax that Evan had been looking for a droid, 10-4, and that Evan wanted Jax to continue the search, as the droid is also being looked for by the Empire and has important data about the Resistance. Chapter 11. Den and I-5 have arrived in the sector of Coruscant where Jax's apartment was. Chapter 12. Jax went in search of the droid and told Nick it was something he had to do alone. Chapter 13. Jax met with Laranth Tarak, a former Jedi who is a part of a group of banned Jedi for their belief that other weapons, including blasters, should be used, and in some cases, this group does not use lightsabers at all. They are going to talk to Rocco the Hutt in attempts to find the droid. Chapter 14. Renan has found security footage of Nick and Jax escaping his apartment. Nick has been captured from a dive bar after beating someone in a game. Chapter 15. Caird's plot has failed, and he is now likely in trouble with Black Sun. Chapter 16. Jax and Laranth met with Rocco, who has agreed to help them 5-10-4. Under the pretense, the droid is handed over to the Empire, but Jax intends to betray Rocco before that happens. Chapter 17. Nick woke up in Dratch Coven and Mock's ship, the Far Ranger. They plan to turn him over to the Empire to collect his bounty. Nick was turned over to Renan. Coven and Mock were then arrested for smuggling, and their ship was impounded. Nick was told Darth Vader will want to see him. Chapter 18. Den and I-5 have tracked Jax's business dealing to Rocco and plan on attempting to sell I-5 to Rocco to gather information on Jax's whereabouts. Chapter 19. Caird is not in trouble. His goals do not harm the Underlord, where the goals of his rival may harm the Underlord and Black Sun as a whole. Chapter 20. Den and I-5 have earned a meeting with Rocco. Vader has asked Nick to find Jax. If he succeeds, he will be given a ship and forced to leave the core worlds. If he fails, he will die. Chapter 21. Rocco purchased I-5 from Den. I-5 and Jax met in the hallway of Rocco's palatial apartment. Part 2. As above, so below. Chapter 22. Caird has been tasked with killing Scissor. his rival and probable threat to the Underlord. Chapter 23, Den I-5, Jax and Larenth escaped Rocco's home, then Jax and Larenth tried to leave Den and I-5 behind. Chapter 24, Vader added to the failure end of his deal, threatening to kill Nick's whole tribe on Haroon Kal. Vader would send a ship to destroy the entirety of his home continent. Chapter 25, I-5 and Den reveal to Jax that they knew Barriss Offee. He tells them she has died. I-5, Den, Jax, and Larenth hear police vehicles approaching and start to escape the area. Chapter 26, Vader has again requested Renan's presence. Chapter 27, Nick has arrived in the sector Jax should be found. I-5, Den, Jax, and Larenth have acquired transport in an attempt to escape the police droids. Chapter 28, with Jax and I-5 in one transport and Den and Larenth in the other, they were separated as they escaped the droid police. Jax and I-5 has destroyed one of their pursuers but are trapped by the other. Den and Larenth have destroyed both of their pursuers. Chapter 29, Jax and I-5 were able to escape the other pursuer. Carrot failed to kill Scissor, who was in possession of the bug-eyed droid. Carrot has been electrocuted by the droid, dead or knocked out. Chapter 30, Nick picked up Jax, Larenth, Den, and I-5, saying he has found the droid and will bring them to it. I-5 is suspicious. Chapter 31, Nick, Jack, Larenth, Den, and I-5 have arrived at the complex where Carrot and Scissor had fought. Chapter 32, they have entered the building and a firefight has started. Chapter 33, Jax was injured in the fight by the bug-eyed droid. Scissor was able to escape with Carrot and the droid. Jax, Larenth, Den, and I-5 went to pursue. Chapter 34, Scissor has brought the droid and Carrot to the long-abandoned factory district on Coruscant. Chapter 35, Jax, Larenth, Nick, Den, and I-5 arrived to a factory shortly after Carrot, Scissor, and Bug-Eyes went inside. Inside was also the Underlord, which shocked Carrot. Chapter 36, Nick has realized that Jax is losing his connection to the Force. I-5 and Den have found evidence of feral droids among the damage in the factory. Part 3, Feral City. Chapter 37, Nick has alerted the Empire to his position and that he has found Jax. It is a clone droid of the Underlord, which dissolved once Carrot touched it. Renan stole a Sith holocron from a storage room. Before he was able to drop it off at his apartment, Vader called him, telling him they had a journey to go on. Chapter 38, Carrot, Scissor, and Bug-Eyes found Scissor's research and manufacturing center completely destroyed, and all of his scientists, researchers, and doctors were dead to feral droids. Nick approached the group with a happy tone. Vader, Renan, and stormtroopers are headed to the factory district. Chapter 39, 3 feral droids attack the room Jax, Larenth, Den, and I-5 are in. Nick is leading Scissor, Carrot, and Bug-Eyes to Jax, Larenth, Den, and I-5 with the hope of them all uniting against Vader. The 3 droids were defeated, but Larenth spotted at least another 6 on the assembly floor below their position. Chapter 40, Jax, Larenth, I-5, and Den destroyed 5 more feral droids. Just as they were about to relax, they were under fire from somewhere else. Chapter 41, Bug-Eyes stunned Jax, Larenth, I-5, and Den, while Scissor stunned Nick. I-5 was shut off. Scissor holds Jax's lightsaber over him. Den turned I-5 back on. Nick took control of Bug-Eyes, and all 3 went to attempt to free Jax. Chapter 42, Scissor took back control of Bug-Eyes while I-5 was screeching. Jax threw Bug-Eyes off their level, and I-5 got Scissor to disarm. Nick had landed on a piece of metal that went through his body after being hit by Scissor during the fight, and Nick died. Jax sent I-5 to find Bug-Eyes and check in its condition. Jax would duel Scissor, Scissor with Jax's lightsaber and Jax with a weapon Nick had found on the bounty hunter's ship earlier, a light whip. Chapter 43. During their duel, Jax destroyed 2 more feral droids. Then after accepting death, Jax was able to reunite with the Force. Disarming Scissor, Jax thought he had won. Scissor grabbed Nick's blaster, shot at Jax, not hitting, but gave him enough distraction to escape. Jax then sensed Darth Vader approaching the factories. Chapter 44. Jax, Larenth, Den, I-5, and Carrot find out that Bug-Eyes has been destroyed by feral droids after the fall, and his memory bank is gone. Jax tells the group that Vader is on his way. They set Jax's lightsaber to fall through the floor to hit the reactor core on the factory as a distraction for Vader. The group has started their exit of the facility, and Nick is also apparently alive somehow. Chapter 45. The Empire lets Scissor go and know the reactor will blow up shortly. The group was able to evade the Empire and escape. Renan left the Imperial ship and joined the group. Chapter 46. Larenth, Jax, I-5, and Den have decided to stay on Coruscant, hoping Vader thinks Jax is dead. Carrot is going to leave for Nedige after laundering his money for them over the next 2 days. Renan has given Jax the Sith holocron and wants to flee Coruscant. That's all I have for Jedi Twilight. There are more books in this series, and I'm guessing it will pick up right where we leave off. I feel like at some point in this series we're going to have Jax face Darth Vader. That's all I have for Coruscant Nights Jedi Twilight. If you have any thoughts on this book or anything Star Wars, please leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.